Urgent warning. Shocking mistake Pierre Poilievre keeps making. Can he turn it around? Pierre Poilievre's campaign in the Battle River, Crowfoot by-election in Alberta is unfolding with far more challenges than many anticipated. Despite this riding's reputation as one of the safest conservative strongholds in Canada, where the party consistently captures over 80% of the vote, Poilievre is encountering unexpectedly strong opposition and a noticeable erosion of enthusiasm. This unexpected dynamic highlights a vital political truth that even high-profile politicians sometimes overlook. All politics are local, and Poilievre's current difficulties underscore his failure to meaningfully connect with the community he now hopes to represent. Having spent more than 20 years representing an Ontario riding, Poilievre's recent decision to seek office in a deeply rural Alberta constituency has created unease among many voters. To them, it feels like a classic case of parachuting, a high-profile figure arriving from outside, with little connection or understanding of the local community's specific needs, values, and day-to-day realities. This perception has opened the door for several local candidates, such as Sarah Spann and independent Bonnie Critley, who are gaining traction by running grassroots campaigns firmly rooted in community concerns. They argue that Poilievre is more interested in leveraging a safe seat as a political stepping stone than truly representing the people of Battle River, Crowfoot. Bonnie Critley, in particular, has become a compelling voice, championing the idea that this riding belongs to its residents, not to distant national politicians. Her campaign is a clear call for authenticity, emphasizing a deep commitment to local values and issues such as resource management, healthcare accessibility, rural infrastructure, and support for farmers and small businesses. Critley's message resonates with voters frustrated by what they see as political opportunism and disconnected leadership. This rising momentum among local candidates illustrates a broader appetite among constituents for representatives who are not only familiar with their communities, but actively invested in their well-being. In stark contrast, Poilievre's campaign remains firmly grounded in broad, national themes and grievance politics. He dedicates much of his effort to attacking national figures like Prime Minister Mark Carney, criticizing federal policies, and stirring up divisive rhetoric that energizes his base but risks alienating moderate and independent voters within the riding. This approach, while effective in some contexts, appears increasingly out of touch with the more immediate, practical concerns of the Battle River, Crowfoot electorate. The disconnect between Poilievre's national-focused strategy and his opponent's localized campaigns exemplifies a growing trend in politics worldwide. Politicians like Zoran Mamani in New York and Kat Abigazalii in Illinois have demonstrated how powerful a hyperlocal approach can be. These candidates invest heavily in direct community engagement, hosting local events, holding accessible office hours, and raising funds through small donations. Their campaigns prioritize building relationships over broadcasting national talking points, creating a strong connection of trust and responsiveness that voters increasingly demand. Poilievre's response to the longest ballot initiative, a protest movement encouraging more candidates to run, further reveals his discomfort with broader democratic participation. Dismissing it as a scam, he proposed tightening the rules for candidacy, including raising signature requirements from 100 to 1,000 and restricting voters from signing multiple candidate petitions. Critics argue this stance threatens to suppress democratic choice and limit the diversity of voices in elections, particularly independent and grassroots candidates who often lack the resources of major parties but represent vital community interests. This by-election is also becoming more competitive due to the growing support for independent and third-party candidates. Bonnie Critley's rising momentum, coupled with the strong local connections of Liberal candidate Darcy Spady, means the race is less of a foregone conclusion than many initially believed. Though Poilievre remains the favorite, these challengers have narrowed his expected margin of victory significantly, a factor that could have meaningful implications for his political standing, especially with a leadership review looming on the horizon. Beyond this specific race, the Battle River, Crowfoot by-election underscores a larger systemic issue in Canadian politics, the persistent gap between national party leaders and the voters in their ridings. Both Poilievre and Jagmeet Singh have faced criticism for focusing heavily on national campaigns while neglecting their local constituencies. This situation raises important questions about the effectiveness of Canada's first-past-the-post electoral system, which often forces politicians to divide their attention between national visibility and local representation, sometimes to the detriment of both. Reform advocates argue that shifting to a mixed-member proportional system could help address these challenges by balancing local representation with partyless seats. Such a model would allow party leaders to focus more on national leadership responsibilities without losing sight of their obligations to their home ridings. Ultimately, this could lead to stronger accountability, better constituent service, and a political culture more attuned to local needs. Adding a lighter, more colorful note to this election are the numerous longest ballot candidates who bring creativity and humor into the campaign. For example, the band Famous Sandhawks has created catchy songs supporting various candidates, injecting energy and levity into what might otherwise be a dry political contest. One particularly memorable contender, Nicholas Zogby, runs a dinosaur-themed campaign advocating to rename the riding Raptor River, Crowfoot, and to educate voters about prehistoric life. These unique campaigns reflect the diverse voices and grassroots enthusiasm that electoral reform supporters hope to foster across the country. Ultimately, while Pierre Poilievre remains heavily favored to win the Battle River, Crowfoot by-election, his campaign's challenges highlight a crucial flaw: the inability or unwillingness to adapt to the fundamental reality that politics is deeply local. Voters want representatives who understand their daily lives, their community's unique character, and the specific challenges they face, not just nationally recognized personalities who speak primarily in broad strokes. This by-election serves as a powerful reminder that political success depends on more than name recognition or party loyalty. Genuine engagement, respect for local issues, and a heartfelt commitment to constituent service are essential. How Poilievre chooses to respond to these challenges will significantly impact his political future and could influence the broader landscape of Canadian politics, especially as the country approaches the snap federal election on April 28, 2025, under the new leadership of Prime Minister Mark Carney.